Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and I was always told how to voice radio, so today I'm bringing you the third set of games from the Danish unofficial Pokkén Tournament Championships. Now, we got a couple of good players here for you. We've got Kasper and his Weavile, and we've got Quang and his Sceptile. Now, Quang did actually lose to Rasmus in the first set of games we showed you back in the first video, so he's in a loser's bracket, and if he loses once again, he is out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a loser's bracket here. This means that the loser of this game will be eliminated. Now, we are in double elimination. You lose once, you go into the loser's bracket. You lose again, you are out of the tournament. And here we have got Weavile against Sceptile. Like I said, the Weavile is being played by Kasper. We've not seen him on stream yet before. And the Sceptile is being played by Quang, who we did unfortunately see going down in a previous game in the first video to Rasmus and his Chandelure. We are following the tournament through and we are ready to go here in this first game. And straight away we see Sceptile going on the attack. He's getting that counter attack off and then just going in very, very aggressively, counter attacking many times, getting some good damage done there. Kasper's going in very aggressively with his Weavile, but he's got to watch out for those counter attacks that are completely hurting him here. The attack triangle says that if your opponent is winning with counter attacks, you should be using grab attacks. Grabs do beat counters. We see a leaf blade missing there, but then just a regular attack from Sceptile comes out, and Weavile is straight away down 1-0. But we are in a best of 3 here, so Kasper is going to have an opportunity to try and bring this back, try and even it up here. And we see him select Eevee in his helping hand there. So, here we go with Sceptile, and again, we come in very aggressively here. Some regular attacks. I want to grab straight away. Rather than going for those counter attacks, he's coming in with the grab, but then straight back to those counter attacks. Weavile tried that side ranged attack, throwing out those icicles, but it did absolutely nothing. We see a couple of leaf blades there from Sceptile, and Kasper and his Weavile are on the ropes, and they are facing elimination from this tournament, and that will be it. So Quang comes straight away there and manages to get the win. A very nice play there. And now we're into Magnus and Marius. Marius with his Shadow Mewtwo, and Magnus with his Gengar. Now, I believe we might have seen Magnus and his Gengar in a previous round, although we actually saw Magnus playing Blaziken. In the first video, we saw Magnus and his Blaziken going down to Jonas and his Pikachu Libre. Now we have Magnus coming back, but this time he's playing as Gengar. He is going to be trying to do things a little bit differently, seeing if he can come out and have a bit more success with Gengar. He's in the loser's bracket. He cannot afford another loss, so he here is coming out and trying to keep going in this tournament with his Gengar. So straight away, Gengar throwing out those Shadow Ball attacks, and Mewtwo's just blocking, taking some chip damage, and now we see that linked up range attack, and both players very cagey, just sitting there behind blocks. Oh, and there we see that backwards ranged attack from Shadow Mewtwo, just knocking him back into it. Both players being cautious. Remember, boys, a grab will go through a block. And we see a curse there from Gengar, a couple of curses. And both players there, they've got the opportunity to do grabs. Grabs do go through blocks, but unfortunately at the moment, both players just going aggressively. Couple of Shadow Balls, out comes Diglett with his dig, but before he can dig, Shadow Balls are coming out again. And both players here playing cagey, playing aggressive, and we have got Magnus and his Gengar taking an early prize lead, and unfortunately Marius there and his Shadow Mewtwo unable to get in close, unable to work his way in, and now we are in another loser's bracket match here. He is just one loss away from being eliminated. So here he's got to try something a bit different. He goes for that Evil Towel, the Oblivion Wing supports attack, hoping it can help him, and straight away we see a Synergy Burst, and out comes Shadow Mewtwo trying to get his burst attack, but unfortunately Dark Nova does not hit. Now we see Oblivion Wing, but Gengar just stays at the back and stays out of it, so in comes Shadow Mewtwo very aggressively there. trying to get, and both players there just sitting behind their blocks, needing to use those grab attacks. Now we have a couple of newer players in this tournament, but remember that grab does go through those blocks. You don't just have to sit there blindly attacking. Oh, but we see that grab attack there from the Gengar. That Hypnosis is a grab attack. And now we see him rolling. Nice blocking there from Gengar, just absorbing those hits. But remember that your guard will not stay up forever, and we did see it go down there. But we see another Hypnosis from Gengar, and in comes Diglett using his dig, because what does Diglett do? Diglett digs. And in comes Mewtwo there with those backward ranged attacks, just trying to knock him back. And we see it again, very aggressively here, and eventually does take that win. And I believe that is all it is going to take. No, sorry, I do apologise. We're one game each. How silly of me. Gengar won the first. That was Magnus. Marius and his Shadow Mewtwo won the second. So we are going here. And it looks like Marius is thinking of using that Luster Purge from the Latios instead. So we get a very early Gengar here. Couple of Shadow Balls. And then, oh, and that was very, very nicely done. We see Diglett's dig juggling him in the air, and then some Shadow Balls thrown in just to get some extra damage. And again, we see Dark Nova, but we don't see it hitting with a huge amount here. And here we see that Luster Purge, just keeping him chimed in there, just keeping him zoned in. And Gengar there just blocking, because that's all he needs to do right now. And now we see Gengar gets his Synergy Burst. And Gengar really is good when he's bursted. A lot of players don't love Gengar first of all, but when Gengar uses that Synergy Burst, all of his attacks become much, much better. And we see some Shadow Ball spams there for the win for Magnus. So we are going to go into game 3 now, and we've got Marley and his Machamp and Jonas and his Pikachu Libre. Now, we've already seen Jonas take down Magnus's Blaziken with Pikachu Libre, and we've seen Jonas and his Pikachu Libre lose to Mikkel's Garchomp. We've actually seen Jonas and his Pikachu Libre in the first 2 videos here. He is back in number 3. Jonas started off in a winner's bracket, won his first game, but now Jonas is in the loser's bracket here, and he's going to be looking to try and take down this Machamp, keep going through this tournament. So, in comes Pikachu Libre here, and now he's just kind of running away a little bit, trying to get some range attacks going, and it works very, very nicely. But in comes Machamp with his submission attack. Lots of grappling, lots of grabbing with these two wrestler-type Pokemon. But in comes Pikachu with his Stone Cold Stunner. It's not really a Stone Cold Stunner. It is, in fact, a Wild Charge. But it's not an official stream today, so I'm allowed to call it a Stone Cold Stunner. And in comes Machamp. Pikachu Libre there trying with his counter attack. Attack triangle says that grab beats counter attack, and Machamp submission is a grab attack. But in comes Pikachu Libre with his Electro Web there. And it's pretty much even here with both of these players. In here we come with the Emolga, knocking Pikachu Libre out the air, lowering his speed. And we did try and see the Thunderclap press there, but Pikachu was not close enough to hit with his burst attack. And we see a bulk up there from Machamp, but it doesn't work perfectly. And now Pikachu Libre gets in with that grab attack there very nicely indeed. But remember how much damage Machamp can do. He gets the bulk up, and he tries to go in there, Machamp does, with that Karate Chop, with that close combat, but it does not work. And there's nothing doing there. Pikachu Libre and Jonas take the first round here. Jonas wants to try and stay alive here so he can go into the 4th video as well. Let's see if he's able to do so. Calls in Diglett, uses that dig, but we see a submission here from Machamp, a very powerful attack. It's a grab attack, it catches players who are using counters, who are using those guard attacks, and we see a close combat there from Machamp, but it doesn't hit, and a wild charge from Pikachu Libre there. Takes down that Machamp and straight into that Synergy Burst. Now we do see Machamp there going for his Dynamic Fury, and he misses. And then we see Pikachu going for the Thunderclap press, and he misses. And now Machamp there with another submission. And we see a wild charge there from Pikachu again. We see this from players sometimes. If you've got a move that's working, why not keep going for it? We saw in the final of the Italian National Championships, Gorson, the winner, who actually won Italian Nationals with Gorson, did just go ahead. He used his jumping grab attack very often. Could say, oh, he's spamming jumping grab, but no, he timed it very nicely. Back to this game, it is coming down to the wire. And Pikachu Libre, they're doing a couple of those attacks, and he's very close to winning the second round here. But we see a submission here from Machamp and from Marley, and that is enough to even up this game and giving it up to game points here. 1 round each from Jonas and his Pikachu Libre, and from Marley and his Machamp, and it is coming down here, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this is going to go on, and the loser will be eliminated from this tournament. So in comes Fennekin, uses that attack, but it doesn't hit. Pikachu Libre is too far away, and Jonas and his Pikachu Libre are blocking a lot. And Marley and his Machamp have figured out that when that block comes in, a submission is a very, very good move to use. But now we see Pikachu Libre coming in with a grab attack instead, stealing Machamp's move, and now we see the Thunderclap press, but he's too far away. He needs to be closer to hit that there. Although it might not have been a Thunderclap press, sorry, that might have just been this Synergy Burst. We'll see, I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't matter though, because Machamp comes in there with another submission, and Jonas needs to find a way around that. The way to beat these grab attacks is regular, normal attacks. So if Jonas and his Pikachu Libre can go in with just some normal attacks there, he will be fine. And there we go with a ranged attack, taking down Marley and his Machamp. Marley and Machamp are eliminated. Jonas moves on. And the final game for this video, Rasmus and his Chandelure against Sebastian and his Mewtwo. We've seen Rasmus before. In the first video, we saw him take down Quang and his Sceptile. In the second video, we saw him lose to Simon and his Pikachu Libre. Here, both these players are 1 loss away from being eliminated. Rasmus and his Chandelure, Sebastian and his Mewtwo. And I think we've seen Sebastian on stream before, and he is just coming in very quickly, very aggressively, linking up those ranged attacks, trying to jump over the Will-O-Wisp, gets hit with a Will-O-Wisp and gets hit with a Smog. And that takes his speed and his attack down there. And in comes Sebastian and his Mewtwo very aggressively, trying to take advantage of Chandelure's weak defense and the fact that he can't take many hits. But Rasmus gets a bit of a combo there, finishes it off with a Smog, tries to go for that beam attack, but it gets knocked by the Hyper Beam of Mewtwo, and he needs to be careful. Mewtwo's Hyper Beam is very, very powerful. Chandelure there gets the ranged attacks and the link up, and he hits with a Will-O-Wisp. It is coming down to it. Either player could take this, but Mewtwo is the one that comes in with a couple of ranged attacks, and that is all it takes. Rasmus here is on the ropes. He is about to be eliminated from the tournament unless he can come back and win this next round against Sebastian and his Mewtwo. So in comes Sebastian on the Chandelure, gets the attack, jumps over the Will-O-Wisp, tries to go for the grab attack, but a regular attack followed by a Smog is all it takes. Now Chandelure here coming in, and again he's liking that combo that ends with the Smog, puts down the speed of the Mewtwo at the same time as he does so, and he's just going there for some of those ranged attacks. It's working, why would you change it? Rasmus here, he wants to even up this set, throws out a few Will-O-Wisps there, and one of them hits, and there we go. Chandelure has a very wide range of projectile attacks. One of them worked there. His Will-O-Wisp came in and took down Sebastian and the Mewtwo. So, we are coming down to it, ladies and gentlemen. We have got it all even. We are in a loser's bracket match. The loser will be eliminated from the tournament. And in comes Sebastian with his Mewtwo. Calls in Diglett. Diglett is going to dig. And Chandelure does not block. Gets hit by the Diglett. Only a little bit, but still does get hit. Reshiram comes here with the blue flare. And Sebastian and his Mewtwo don't block. Gets hit. Attack goes down. And there we see the flickering flame. It does not actually work for Chandelure there. But the Will-O-Wisp hits as Mewtwo is trying that Hyper Beam. And here he goes, and Mewtwo has got to go in, but he does. He goes in close while Chandeler's down, gets around, but now he's back, and when he's back, Chandeler is going to try those ranged attacks, and it's working, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like he's going to be able to close out the game with just one more here, throwing out those Will-O-Wisps. And Sebastian, he needs to just jump over them or counter through them. He goes for the Hyper Beam, but it gets beaten by Chandeler's Beam. Say goodbye to Sebastian. A valiant effort there, but it was not enough for Rasmus and his Chandeler. We've now seen Rasmus coming in 3 games in each of our 3 videos here. He's 2-1, he's moving on, and spoiler alert, we are going to see Rasmus and Jonas in our next video, ladies and gentlemen. So you know the deal, click like, click subscribe, and comment anything you want to say. We'll be back in a couple days with 4 more games from the Danish Pokkén Tournament National Championship. I like these games, I'm a little bit excited, a little bit looking forward to seeing the rest of them, and you should be too. Look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.